Hey everybody, welcome back to Diving in the Deep. Sorry, I was just kind of admiring, I like the curtain rod here, and I really like the picture here, because it's, I don't know how you would phrase it. Like in real life, you might have a normal room with like a painting, and like this is the opposite, it's like a kind of, drawn, painted existence with a real image for their painting. I kind of like that. But more important than that, that's not at all what I meant to say. More importantly, is we need to go confront Walton to see if he's got the magic artifact that could endanger all the Merpeople. We better get ready for our meeting with Walton. He nods and we both move to head downstairs. We reach the warehouse in plenty of time for the meeting and head straight in. It's empty inside, our footsteps echoing around the large open space. The only decorations are within the wooden crates that line the walls, each probably filled with a relic that Walton has acquired. Because he's like a grave robber. Merrick follows, though he seems to be struggling to keep up even at my slow pace. He's probably not used to walking, honey. I turn to check on him with my brow furrows at the sight. Dark circles shadow his normally bright eyes, but now they're dulled to gray-green. His body is hunched as he shuffles to join my side. Gravity's probably a lot tougher to people who don't live in water, because they're not used to it. Are you alright? He barely manages to nod at me, and I step towards him, but we're interrupted by more footsteps as Walton enters, followed close behind by one of his lackeys. Sunglasses patrol.
Good morning, Miss Lantern. You brought backup, I see.
So did you. I gesture to the suited man that flanks him. Maybe it's just his boyfriend. Walton slides off his sunglasses and with a slow precision, a smile stretching his already thin lips.
You can never be too careful. So let me guess why you're really here.
Thankfully, Walton doesn't notice the way Merrick has to lean against me for support. You should have him lean against this and be cool. It's like when I was in high school, I always leaned against the walls and avoided class. My grasp tightens around him in worry as he lets out a small pained groan. Don't grab him so tightly then. He's sweating and I can feel the heat of a fever from the skin even through our clothing. Hopefully he doesn't have human diseases now.
Wait. You have come to scold me for diving in your ruins, am I correct?
You shouldn't have been down there. I could report you.
I don't know why you're so worried. I barely touched your precious ruins. There was nothing down there but stone. Well, stone in this piece of junk.
He grabbed the artifact from the top of a nearby crate and held it up to the dull light of the lamp. Oh, damn. Do we act nonchalant about it? Do we demand it back? Do we offer a deal for it? Fuck. Oh, I don't think demanding it back is going to work. I don't think acting nonchalant is going to either, but fuck it. We're going to... we're just going to offer it. Let's offer a deal. I'll make you a deal in return for that artifact.
Oh?
He steps closer to me and Merrick, a smile once again forming on his face.
And what could you possibly offer?
His fingers snake across my cheek and down my jawline. You take your hand off of her. Merrick's voice is weak, but there's a real threat behind his words.
You two must be quite, close. Walton chuckles. Turning
his gaze on Merrick and then back to me.
I want at least 50% of the items from your next discovery.
50%? I glance at Merrick, the dark circles under his eyes heavy and dragging, down the rest of his face in a pained frown. I can't agree to that. That's highway extortion. I shake my head. No, I can't agree to that.
Shame. Guess I'll just have to keep this instead, then.
I do my best to steady my nerves. Walton places the artifact back on the crate with a little more care than he had originally picked it up. He taps his chin.
Now what are we going to do with you two?
He moves to turn away, and my gaze snaps to the unguarded artifact. This is our only chance we'll have. I glance at Merrick, who nods in understanding, heaving himself from me and transferring his weight to the metal pillar beside us. Whee! I can't imagine the fact that he has backup. We can try and grab it and run, or keep talking to him and try and convince him. I can't imagine the fact that he has backup that it's going to work, but you know what? Yoink! With Walton's attention distracted, I lunge forward, snatching at the shell. Instantly, Walton moves out of the way so his lackey can rip the gun from his holster! The bullet whizzes past me, skimming off the crate close to my head. I stumble back, crashing into the crate that manages to keep me on my feet. Walton steps back in front of us with slow steps, his lackey shadowing him further behind. Are you kidding, Walton? You guys could go to prison for murder!
Tut, Quinn, I'm very disappointed. You know I can't let you leave here now.
The lackey raises his gun, the barrel aimed directly towards my chest. All I can do is stare at it, the small object about to end my life seeming like a dark shadow that will consume me.
Goodbye, Miss Lanton.
Ah! Merrick? I hope he hits with a fishtail.
What now?
Merrick's sudden yell stops everything as we spin around to see where he stands. My eyes widen to find him sinking to the floor. He's hunched over, gripping his stomach, gritting his teeth so hard I can hear him. Maybe he's shitting himself because your coffee was so bad. But Walton's annoyance had cut short as Merrick spasms. Merrick's jeans tear. Merrick's jeans tear. His tail erupting through the seams, and the scales on it dancing gold, even in the dim light. Look at Walton. He's like, Goo? His cries of pain seem to rip through me, but I can't move. My feet frozen to the ground in shock. Merrick! Merrick! Oh, fish booty. Finally, everything falls quiet. Only Merrick's heavy panting breaking the silence. Walton stares down at the merman in shock.
It's a Murph! It's a what? Instead of a werewolf, it's a werfish. I don't know. Fish mare.
And my fingers grip onto the crate I'm leaning against for support. Grab the shit now and run.
I want that man now.
Wait, did you just turn gay for Merrick? What? He yells the command at his lackey.
I will get the others. Do not let them leave.
Walton's voice thunders through the silence, forcing the feeling back into my body. As the lackey, gun firmly in hand, steps forward to catch us, I move too. I thrust my hands forward, shoving the man into a pile of open crates, his feet dangling in the air as he falls inside. Oh no! I drop onto my knees beside Merrick, the merman obviously weak and pained. I'm sorry, Quinn. Don't be sorry, this isn't your fault. You're going to be alright. As my hand grips his arms with worry, he takes my hands in his, staring with firmness into my eyes. You have to take the artifact and go. Are you kidding? I'm not leaving you behind. What? His fingers wrap tighter around mine. You gotta go. Getting it back to my people's all that matters now. His eyes soften, his fingers rising to caress my cheek. Tears prick at my eyes from the gentle touch. Please, Quinn, if you care for me, do this for me, please. No, I'm gonna ignore his dumb ass and get him out of here. I can't leave you here. You're not telling me what to do. I choke back a sob, my chest tight as he looks at me with care shining in his eyes. Please? No, I won't. I care about you too much. I push myself up from the ground, sprinting forwards and push with all my strength against the tall metal frame piled with small boxes. After a moment, the metal legs squeak on the concrete floor, and finally the whole thing topples over. With the path to us blocked, I turn back and grab Merrick beneath the arms, dragging him across the smooth floor. Oh, I'm glad I didn't leave him behind, when apparently he's not that hard to get out of there. I did think about it for a moment. As we burst out of the warehouse, the energy it takes to drag Merrick soon exhausts me, and I quickly realize I haven't completely thought this plan through. The sun glares off of a nearby car. I glance at it, noticing the keys dangling in the ignition. Oh man, it's become Grand Theft Auto. Must be one of the Waltons. I've come this far, borrowing his car isn't going to make things any worse. With my remaining strength, I drag Merrick to the car, and we manage to get him back to the seat. I start the engine, backing out of the parking lot, and drive for the beach like a mad woman, which is every time I drive. Oh! Back in the water, I finally have a moment to catch my breath. Merrick hasn't said a word since we left the warehouse, and his gaze rarely meets mine. Hey, Merrick, remember when you told me not to take you back? You're dumb. You know, I couldn't leave you there. He smiles at me, but it is weak and pained. The expression of it cuts against me, and I shift my gaze away from his. I know. I wouldn't have been able to leave you either. It's just, without the artifact, I'm worried saving my life will have been for nothing. Walton will find us now anyway, or sell the artifact, and we'll never find it. He looks at me, sadness creeping back onto his face and tugging down his lip. I need some time to think. He swims away, obviously still weakened from the transformation. We need some A-team plan. Get a van and some machine guns. I understand what not having the artifact means, but I'm not going to just sit around and sulk. I'm going to get it back. It's dark by the time I make it to the warehouse, the parking lot outside empty. The moonlight bounces from the windows like bouncy boobs. The shutters hiding all of what lay within. I tiptoe towards the door, suspicious but thankful that the doors are unlocked. I should have locked the doors. Doesn't he care that his car got stolen? It's empty in here, too. Just like in Walton's head. I head further into the warehouse, careful to mind my steps and avoid tripping over anything in the light of the electric lamps. The dim, flickering light casts shadows everywhere, and my nerves are shredded as I jump at each one. It's only a few more steps before I find the artifact sat on a crate, unguarded. It's not even packed. If I had spidey senses, they'd be tingling right about now. Well, let's check for alarms. This looks too easy, so I search around, feeling along the edges of the box. Sure enough, there's a thin piece of wire leading from the hidden plate beneath the shell. I'm not an expert at disarming alarm systems. In fact, I'm not even a beginner level, but I yank at the wire hoping it'll be enough. Really? I would think yanking at it would trigger it. It pulls free of the plate under the artifact. I wait for the alarm? Ellipses? But nothing happens! With a relieved sigh, I grab the artifact off the crate and sprint forward towards the door, wondering if a life as a spy might be a future career option. See, Merrick, I don't even need your help. I can't believe it. You got the artifact back. Of course I did. I think we saved his dumb job. We both smile at each other and happy. You're good at reading. We both smile at each other. His happiness and gratitude so strong I can feel it like waves rolling off of him. I came back after I left to find you gone. I didn't think you'd ever be coming back. I thought you left me. The thought of never seeing you again, it made me feel sadness. This ocean, it was an ocean of tears I cried for you. His words trailed, the emotion behind them making his voice choke. I smile at him, swimming closer to rest my hands on his arms. I know. We're going to have to hide the artifact. Can I hide it in your anus? What? I nod in agreement. Walton won't give up on finding it. Or you. Oh! I know the perfect place. Follow me. If you put it in that damn cove with the gold, I'm going to be so pissed you didn't do that before all of this. He swims away and I follow close behind. When we reach a rocky underwater cave entrance, Merrick asks me to close my eyes. I do as he asks, feeling his fingers wrap around mine to lead me inside. Okay, you can open them now. How many fucking caverns? This is why people find this shit. All day long you're supposed to be protecting it, and you're like, I'm gonna find more caverns. Oh my. The underwater cave is tinted green, the sun leaching through a small entrance hole in the wall behind us. Small colorful fish dart through the vibrant strands of seaweed, and the rocks are covered in what seem like a metal of vivid coral. It's called the Emerald Cave. It's a good name for it. Only my people know about it. Walton will never find the artifact down here. That might have been a good place for it in the first place. I swear, Merrick. Merrick swims over to a small rocky outcrop, sliding the artifact beneath a pile of pink, moss-looking coral. When he swims back to my side, his smile widens. I couldn't have done this without you. You wouldn't be in this mess if you didn't know me. He chuckles, and I can't help but smile at the joyful sound after everything that's happened. Look at him smile. He's like, why are you caressing that seaweed? That's not me. His hands cup my cheeks. I want to cup more than your cheeks, baby. The heat of his skin is so warm against the cool waters that surround us. I might have peed a bit. And thank you, honey. I smile, licking my lips, unsure of how else to respond, with blood coursing so hard around my body. What happens when you have your period in the water? Isn't that going to be really gross? I let my eyes flutter closed. He leans in, his lips pressing firmly against my own. I sink into the kiss, holding him close. Hold me, baby dancer. As we swim back to the surface. Oh, wait, what about the kiss? So many kisses all over my kiss hole. The moon shimmering high above the waves. My curiosity wins out on a question that's been lingering on my mind for some time. It's his dad. When we first met, you told me about a human turned into a merman. Yeah? Do you really not know how it happened? No, not really. All I know is that the artifact produces a pearl every couple of decades, and when someone consumes that pearl, it turns them into either a human or a merperson. Who eats pearls? That'd be terrible on your teeth. That's it? He laughed at my obvious shock. Yeah, that's all it takes. And you people just have a stockpile of pearls in case? No, every time a pearl's produced, it's given to the next merperson to be born. See? He gestures to the pearl that is entwined on seaweed like a bracelet around his wrist. This is one of those pearls. We only get one, and we can either use it for ourselves or gift it to someone else.
Oh, I get it. So either you can use it to turn to a man, or give it to her to make her turn into a merwoman.
Though that guy was the last time it happened, and that was years ago.
Though I still have a million questions on this subject, the chill of the water seeps through my suit, and I speed up my pace to reach the surface a little faster. I'm gonna kiss him goodnight. I swim close, my hands resting on his shoulders, before moving in and kissing him softly on the lips. His fingers lace into my hair, pulling me closer and deepening in the kiss in a quick move. When he pulls away, I only just manage to say a breathless, "Goodnight." Wait. After dressing, I glance over the dark waters for a moment, enjoying the peace of the ocean and the salty spray that whips around me. Wait, you're just leaving him? Go back in there, woman! Get some! There are quiet sounds or footsteps from others, but I ignore them, simply enjoying the moment.
What the?
An arm wraps around me as I try to struggle. Another hand grips my wrist. I'm gonna scream. I open my mouth to scream, only to find a gloved hand clamped around my face. I claw at the hand, but my attempts don't last long as something slams into the back of my neck. I feel myself falling forwards, but black out before I hit the ground. No! Merrick, I need your help, you damn fish man! I wake slowly, a pounding pain beating like a rhythm at the back of my head. It hurts to open my eyes, so I blink them open gradually. And though the light that filters into my vision is dull, it doesn't stop the stinging. Is this the Waltons' warehouse? My question is soon answered as the man himself steps out of the doorway, accompanied once again by a suited goon. You're finally awake. You've gone too far this time, Walton. I shift in my seat, and the cloth bindings wrapped around my wrists dig into my skin, but I still struggle.
What do you think you're doing? This is kidnapping, and I'm not even a kid, so it's more like adult napping. I mean, I'm not tired, but you know what I mean.
Yes, unfortunately, even I have to resort to these kind of methods to get what I want at times. But tell me where your merman and his friends live, and I'll happily let you go. That's what he wants. I can't let that happen. I guess let's play coy with him.
Merman, I don't seem to remember. I don't know no merman. I'm sure I'd remembered one if I had.
I steady my face into a smile, hoping he doesn't notice the tremor in my fingers. I think that's supposed to say Walton, not Quinn. Don't play coy with me.
I'm not a fish.
Tell me where he is. Man, he is mad. His angry demand sends a shudder down my spine, but I steady myself. I try not to dwell on what Walton is capable of. If I don't tell him and instead focus on keeping my composure. I really wouldn't want to do anything I'd regret. I don't want you to do anything you'd regret either, especially not to me. He gestures behind him, his lackey swiping back his jacket to reveal the dull glint of the gun at his side. So please just tell me what I need to know.
Sir!
That's the lackey's voice. Another suited man appears in the doorway behind Walton, or the others. A frown half hidden behind thick sunglasses, even in the gloom of the warehouse. I don't think it...
Sir!
What is it?
One of your clients is on the phone.
Walton lets out a heavy sigh and his eyes roll before turning to head out, pausing beside his lackey. Keep an eye on her. He glances over his shoulder at me. Her mood changes often. I wouldn't put it past her to try something unexpected. The lackey nods at him as Walton leaves, the expressionless mask the man wears making him seem even more robotic. Domo arigato? Silence quickly falls over the two of us, the man leaning slightly against the crate next to him. With the room so quiet, I can hear Walton's muffled voice through the door. I found the ruins as expected. It shouldn't be long now until we locate the merman. How do you sell someone on that? I found merpeople. Once we find him, I'm sure he can be persuaded into revealing where the rest of his people are.
Oh no, Merrick! I have to get out of here and warn him.
I glance at the dark-suited man before me and frown in thought. I can fake being ill, I can tip over the chair, or I can flirt with him. Fuck it, we're gonna flirt. The lackey glances over at me, and I put on my best pout, batting my boobs at him.
I thought he'd never leave us alone. I got an itch in my lady parts that I bet you could itch. Scratch things.
I can see the pink tinge of the man's cheeks, even under the dim light. Oh.
He's gonna be gone a while, enough time for me to introduce my mouth to you-know-what. I suppress the nausea that whirls in my stomach and keep a flirtatious smile plastered on my face. You seem kind of like a whore when you come on that fast. The lackey's face heats to a bright red. He stumbles forward, obviously uncertain but curious. I like ladies, oh. When he steps close, I can see the gun in its holster at his side, the safety strap undone. The lackey unties the bindings at my wrist. Wow. Wow. I'm gonna get a handy. Mom was wrong. Girls do like me. And I don't breathe for fear he sees through my ploy. But eventually the cloth comes away, bright red marks marring my skin where they'd been. I don't hesitate to kick out at the man, my foot connecting with his leg and sending them out from under him. Oh no, I'm not getting a handy at all. I'm being abused. He crashes to the ground, and I wince at the sickening sound his head makes as it connects with the ground. I'm dying, Mother. With my heart in my throat, I manage to get to my feet and sprint from the warehouse, hoping I have enough adrenaline left to get me to the beach. Honey, not to be rude, but at this point in time, it might be advisable to seek your local authorities. They could arrest Walton. I rush through the docks and through the streets of town, ignoring the confused stares of people that I pass. Hitting the beach, I manage to strip out of my clothes. Thankfully, I always wear my suit beneath. That's weird. Merrick! Merrick! I shout out the merman's name as I swim deeper into the waters where we usually meet, panic and fear straining my voice. Merrick, where are you? What's wrong? His face creases in concern, like his whole face turns in on itself as soon as he sees me, swimming up from the ruins below to meet me halfway. Walton's coming. He's coming for you and your people. I'm not. You gotta leave. How do you know? He took me hostage, tried to get me back to tell. He wanted me to make me tell. He wanted to know where you are and have me say so. He did what? He did what? Don't worry, I didn't tell him anything. I don't care about that. No one touches my... He swims close, wrapping his arms around me to get a hold against him. I only care that you're all right. I reluctantly pull away from his embrace. You have to leave. You gotta get your people out of here to safety. He won't stop until he's found you. He takes my hands in his brow furrowing. Come with me. I've been hoping you'd ask me that for a long time. What? I sound a bit dumbstruck, but I can't seem to say anything else. We may only have known each other for a little while, Quinn, but I can't imagine being without you now. You're everything to me. Please, come with me and my people. Use the pearl and become one of us. Wow. I think he's asking you to marry him. I hope so, because if you turn to a merwoman and then he just wanted to be friends, you might regret it at that point when you're stuck. Yeah, we didn't go this far not to say yes. We're going to say yes to becoming a merwoman. Yeah, of course I'll be with you. I want to be with you and we'll make creepy mer-person sexes. He doesn't say a word, simply hugs me tight around the waist and spins us around. When he pulls away, a smile shines in his eye and mine. Come on, my people aren't far. Arg! Did you get harpooned? Oh, shitballs, he did. Merrick! Whoa, booty! Merrick pants out his breaths, ripping the spear from his shoulder while he pulled a John Rambo. A stream of blood seeping into the water from the deep wound. Hopefully sharks don't come and attack, or squids. I try to press my hand to the wound to stem the bleeding, but he yells in pain, so I snatch my hands back. Bubbles sound from behind us, and I spin around to find a group of 3 divers swimming towards us. How can they see Merrick? One of them carries a spear gun, and it doesn't take long before I recognize the eyes behind the goggles. Walton's lackeys swim towards us, and I kick out to stop them, but they grab me before I can swim away. I flick my wide gaze to Merrick, where he's being held to, his body dropping in the lackey's firm grasp. How are they better at underwater stuff than a fish man? Hey, I'm like, hey! So, about that handy you said earlier? Is it too late, maybe? Walton swims up behind Merrick, glancing him over as though he were on display in an art gallery. Oh, is that Merrick or Walton there? He presses something into Merrick's ear, and the merman sneers at him. Though his expression is weak, his wound is paining him. Then his attention turns to me. Even though half his face is hidden, I can see a smirk glint in his eyes. He swims close and reaches towards me. I can't struggle away as the lackey grips me tighter. He pushes a small earpiece into my ear, and I can hear the man's voice. Well, well, what a surprise. Seems like you've many talents, Miss Lantern. His hand laces across my cheek, and I flick my head away. A woman able to breathe underwater, you'd make an excellent exhibition piece yourself. Dude, that is illegal as hell. You can't put people in prison. They're not slaves. Get away from her! An amused glint crosses Walton's eyes behind his mask as he turns to Merrick. Don't worry, fish man. I'm not interested in her when there's a real merman to be sold. I'm gonna struggle against the captor. I fight against the grip of the man holding me, but he only tightens his hands on my arms to the point that I yelp in pain. If you're going to be this much of a pain about it, you're going to be a liability, and I don't stand for liabilities. He rolls his eyes, pulling up the spear gun and pointing it directly at me. It's a real shame. We could have made the best team. His finger hovers on the trigger. Wait, no! Everyone's gaze flickers to Merrick, and I let out the breath I'd been holding as the spear gun lowers a little. Oh, shit, a fart. His eyes meet mine for just a moment, but my heart stops as I realize what he's about to do. If you let her go, you can have me. Merrick, no! My pleas are cut off as Walton raises the gun again. An offer worth my time. I stare at Merrick, but his gaze remains cast down, avoiding mine. My stomach feels knotted, my lungs feeling trapped in my tightening chest. Merrick, where the fuck is your friends and family? Can't they help? As my gaze drops like Merrick's, I spot the pearl at his wrist. I could use the pearl to turn into a mermaid and offer myself. I could try and fight them, even though he's badly wounded. I could let Walton take him. I'm not gonna let Walton take him, even though that's kind of funny. I'm not gonna fight. I could fight. I'm gonna grab the pearl and turn into a mermaid. I have a different offer. Both Walton and Merrick stare at me, and I swallow down the nerves that sting beneath my skin. If I were a mermaid, would you take me in his place? Walton's eyes widen beneath his mask. I would consider it, but I don't see how that's an option. Would we have a deal or not? His brows lift, and then he nods slowly. I could make enough money off of one of you. You got a deal? All right. I pull away from my captor, who lets me go with a nod of Walton's head, and swim close to Merrick. He does not like that idea. His brows knot together as I tread water before him. What are you doing? You can't. His voice cracks, and I can barely listen to the heartbreak that tugs on his words. Don't give up your freedom for mine. I attempt to smile as much as I can, unable to force down the tears that burst from me. Under the water, no one can tell you cry. I cup his face in my hands, pressing his lips softly against mine. He leans closer, an ache punctuating the intimate moment that we share. And I know it may be the last kiss we ever have. The thought of it makes me yank away, ripping the pearl from his wrist in the process, biting my lip to stem the tears. I turn to face Walton, pearl grasped in my hand. It's still there, though. I turn to face Walton, pearl grasped in my hand, but before I push it into my mouth and swallow it with ease. Before long I push it into my mouth and swallow it with ease. For a long moment, nothing happens, and I feel it. Hopefully it doesn't hurt. I would think it would. Do your legs turn into fins, or do they shoot off and you grow fins? The pain bursts from within me like claws being dragged against every inch of me. Oh. Arrgh! I can barely believe my own eyes as I stare down at the tail where my legs used to be. There is a momentary stunned silence from us all before Walton breaks it by barking out a laugh. I knew we'd work together eventually. The amazement is quickly washed away by remembering what I had agreed to. I'll keep our deal. The merman can go. No, now fight him. Now that you have the powers of a fish, fight him. Walton nods his head at the man holding Merrick, who lets the merman go. As soon as he's freed, Merrick rushes forward with a rock formation jutting up from the depths nearby. Wait, no. As soon as he's freed, Merrick rushes towards a rock formation jutting up from the depths nearby. What's he doing? Swimming, dumbass. All I can do is shake my head and watch Merrick grab a shell from the rock and bring it to his lips. Oh, damn, son! He blows into the shell and a piercing sound blasts from it, spreading around us as though it moves on the current. Guess what, Walton? He's gonna bring his mer army. Walton laughs from beside me, and I stare at him. He's making fun of noises on the shell. He can't hear it. Oh, he can't hear it because he's underwater, but I can because I'm a mer person now. Bring her, we're leaving. One of his lackeys nears me, and I begin to back away, but before he can grab me, he's yanked away by the flash of a shadow. You're fucked now, Walton. Not in a good way. What the? Walton yells out as another shadow zooms past, snatching up the other lackey. I'm not gonna get my hand in, leaving nothing but bubbles where he once was. I gasp as someone grabs my tail, the sensation of it being touched sending a spark through me. Don't touch my special tail spot! Merrick pulls me close to him, cradling my head to his chest as though trying to stop me seeing what was happening. My people have come to help. They're probably going to eat them. He whispers the words through his voice, and though his voice is almost lost within the yells and cries of Walton and his men, "Ooh!" They'll face our justice for what they've done? I didn't bother to ask exactly what kind of justice that was. From the sounds echoing around us, it didn't seem like they'd be thrown in any kind of prison. It was a few minutes longer before the water settled. Oh, I like the fact that Walton's probably dead. Merrick let me go, and I swam up out of the gloom of the rock formation and stared into the empty sea. It was as if no one had been there at all. Merrick swims beside me, a smile on his face that I thought I'd never see again. Maybe he's just got happy. Maybe he had bloodlust. He felt good killing the other people that were touching his woman. It's all over now. No one touched my water baby. Maybe. Maybe my ass. Come on, they're dead. I run my fingers over his cheek and he grips them in his own. But I think we've only just begun. We've only just begun. I hate that song. Never sing it again. He leans forward to capture my lips in a kiss I will never forget. He's like, oh. Oh, wait, what about the kiss? He's like, oh dear, sensual. Merrick takes me to meet his people, and the introductions are overwhelming but amazing. Taken in by his kind with such ease, now my own kind. Oh, taken in by his kind with such ease, now my own kind. The reservations I had about turning into a mermaid disappear. Oh, derp. I'm like, I'm a mermaid now, too. Reading hard. Especially with Merrick at my side. We're mer buddies. I finally found my best mer friend. And I married him. Aw, still waters. Run deep. Put your fishy penis in my fishy vagina hole. I'll make you fishy love babies. You be a fishy daddy too. Don't ever leave my fishy family. No one's as good as you. Walton put a hole in you. Now put your thing in my hole too. Oh, everybody, this was still waters. No, this was diving in deep. You can put it in deep in me. Thanks for watching. If you would like to play it yourself, there should be a link in the description. I had a lot of fun. This was really cool. I'll see you all next time. I'm gonna put my fishy thing in you. Goodbye.